Hi, back in the middle 60s, when I was in my early teens, my brother-in-law came home with an album one day by a duo that I'd never heard of, and they were Simon and Garfunkel. And the album was Parsley, Sage, Rosemary and Thyme, which they brought out in 1966. And I got to really love that album. There's lots of really great tracks on it. One track that really stood out for me was the title track, which of course is the song Scarborough Fair. But they called it Scarborough Fair Canticle because there was a kind of a counterpoint melody with it as well. Anyway, fast forward a few years until just before Christmas of last year, 2017, and an old friend of mine came round who I hadn't seen for a very, very long while, and he walked into this studio and he said, "Oh, you know, all these guitars, can you play my favourite, Scarborough Fair?" And to my shame, I had to admit that I couldn't. So anyway, I've always loved this piece, so I've figured it out. I'm just going to show you just a basic idea of it. I mean, obviously once the singing comes in, it's largely guesswork. You can't really hear what Paul Simon's playing on the guitar. So I've come up with my own kind of arrangement of that. But it's the famous bit you're interested in, of course. It's played in the key of E minor, which is a horrendously high key for mere mortals like you and me. Art Garfunkel can reach the notes quite easily, but I really can't. I'll show you how to play it in its original key, and then I'll show you a more sensible key if you want to sing it. You'll notice that my capo is only covering 5 strings. That won't matter for the first bit. This is a funny old capo. It won't reach all the strings up on the 7th fret, but I'm going to move it down to the 4th fret and it'll be fine there. Just bear in mind, if you do play this on the 7th fret, you would need to cover all 6 strings. This capo doesn't, sadly. So your first shape is this. If you know an A minor 7th chord, just move it up 2 frets. So your first finger is, and I'm going to call this the 3rd fret, even though technically it's the 10th fret. So first finger, 3rd fret of the B string, 2nd finger, 4th fret of the D string. That's your opening shape. And you pick the A string, the E string, high-pitched E string, G string, all open. Then you play the D string, which is 4th fret. Then you play the B string, which is 3rd fret. And then you play the open G again. I tend to play the A and the D string with my thumb, also the low E. I tend to play the G string with my index finger, B string with my 2nd finger, and the high-pitched E string with my 3rd finger. And it's got obviously, it's got to ring nicely, isn't it? Like that. And then you simply move down into kind of normal A minor area. Take the first finger off, put your 3rd finger down behind the 2nd fret of the G. So you've got like an A minor 2nd, A minor 9th. And just pick the same strings that you did on the first shape. So same picking. So in strings it's A, E, G, D, B, G, A, E, G, D, B, G. Okay? And just alternate, see? Now, on the intro of the record, it fades in. So what I suggest you do is do that alternation once, twice, and then just play the first shape, and then you add your third finger to that kind of A minor 7th moved up 2 frets. So you've got what looks like a C chord moved up 2 frets. Pick the same strings. It's rather nice, isn't it? Some lovely sounds, lovely shapes. And then just move down into kind of normal C territory. Lose fingers 1 and 2 and pick A string, B string, G string, and then run down to the 2nd fret of the A string. Counting there is 1 and 2, 3. Of course, it's 3 beats the bar. I should have said that at the beginning, sorry. Most of it you're simply counting as 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3. And but that particular bar is 1 and 2, 3. Then you go back to your normal pattern. And you alternate that twice. On my music, you come in on bar 12 with the vocal. So there's your intro. And then the vocal starts, and I can't sing it at the same pitch as Art Garfunkel, so I'm going to move it down. I'm going to put my capo behind the 4th fret of the guitar. So now I'm in the C sharp minor, which is probably sounds a bit of a strange key to play on the guitar, but it's a comfortable key vocal wise. So we've dropped a few frets, and your intro sounds like this now. That takes you to near the end of the 3rd line of tablature. So last bar of the 3rd line is where the vocal starts, and it's the same pattern. Are you going? Okay, so the first 2 bars, the same as the intro. Scarborough. Now Scarborough. This is a kind of a G chord. 3rd finger, 3rd fret of the bass E string. You pinch the E string and the open B. Keep that finger down on that E string as you run down, open G, open D, and then you do kind of a cross between a G chord and a C chord. Leave your 3rd finger where it is. 1st finger and 2nd fingers go down on where they would be for a C chord. You play the B and D strings, those strings where you put your fingers on, pinch those together, thumb and 2nd finger, and pull both fingers off. Thus sounding open B and open D. So 1 and 2 and 3, 1 and 2 and 3, and then normal first 2 bars of the intro after that. So far, are you going to Scarborough Fair? Now, the next bit is sort of a bit of guesswork on my part. These are the right chords. I'm not guaranteeing this is exactly what Paul Simon plays, but it works fine. It's parsley, sage, rosemary and thyme. So bar 17, bar 18, simply a C chord and an A minor chord, in which you play A, D, G, B, G, D, A, D, G, B, G, D, just a simple arpeggio up and down. And then an A minor, again, just pinch E, B, G and D strings together on beat 1. Go to a D chord on beat 2, pinch the same strings. Hold on to your D chord and just play the B string again. Bar 17, parsley, sage, rosemary and thyme. And then you do those lovely 2 bars in the intro again, twice through. That will take you to the end of bar 23 on the next page. Now remember me to one who lives there. This is bar 23, 3rd bar of the 2nd page. Remember me to one who lives there. Excuse my singing, it's quite early in the morning here. So third bar is an A minor shape, A minor chord. You pick A, D, G, B, and then lose the chord, just run up the A string, open A, second A. Like that, it's a typical run up to a C chord. Then that's what you do, a normal C chord, normal arpeggio, A, D, G, B, G, D, just down and up, or up and down if you like. And then rather nice two-part harmony there on the 3 beats of the bar. This is the last bar of that first line, bar 26. Open E, third fret of the A, think sort of a C chord, but you actually don't need fingers 1 and 2. And then the way I do the next pair of notes, little finger, third fret of the B, second finger, second fret of the A. If you want to use different fingers, that's fine. Pinch those 2 strings, the B string and the A string. And then pinch the same 2 strings, this time first finger behind the first fret of the B string, and the A string is open. And then bar 27, G chord again, just the third finger on the bass E string, third fret. Pinch the B and the E strings together, and while you're holding that shape, just play open G, open D, open G. Then fingers 1 and 2 go down. Remember that kind of cross between a C chord and a G chord that you did in bar 14. Play the B and the D strings, pull off, and then they're quavers, but then play the same notes as crotchets. Put the fingers back on again for bar 28, pinch the B and the D strings, and then take the fingers off, same strings, pinched again, then open G. Just simple crotchets, 1, 2, 3. So let's go from bar 23 again. Remember me to one who lives there. Now the next bit, this is what I've got for this. This probably isn't what he plays, but it's something quite tasteful, which I think works pretty well. So we're going to hold an A minor chord down again. Play A, D, G, lift the first finger, play the open B, hammer it down at the same tempo as a quaver, back to the G string. And then on the fourth bar of that line, which is bar 30, we're going to do what amounts to a G added second. Third finger, third fret of the bass E string, play the E, the open D, put the second finger behind the second fret of the G, open B, come back, this time the G is open, and then down to open D. That gives us she once was a true love of, and true love of. The tune is there, and I'll just do a little harmony rundown. So we're on our simple G chord, third finger, third fret of the bass E string. We do that a lot when we do fingerstyle on the guitar, don't we? Open B, third fret of the E string, pinch together, and then put the second finger behind the second fret of the bass E string, put the third finger behind the second fret of the G string, pinch the G and the E strings together, and then pinch the same strings together, open. And then, I mean, obviously the song goes on and on. I'm not going to go through the entire thing. What you can do there is just do the next few bars, which amount to the first few bars, again, kind of the intro. And so you'll go, true love of mine. Slowing right down on the end, and then just maybe ending with an open A string or an A minor chord if you like. So there we are. I mean, it's just a brief outline of what to do. Nice little thing to noodle around with. This is a good one to play if you pick up an acoustic guitar in a music shop. I think one of those nice things to mess around with. Hopefully impress your friends. So it sounds like this when you put it all together. Going to Scarborough Fair. One thing you can do which is really nice is to put accents on some of the notes. I mean, you can play it like that, in that sort of usual rippling manner, but you can do... You know what I'm doing there? I'm accenting the open E string and that third fret of the B string. So I'm playing the high-pitched E string and the B string louder. So, beautiful guitar piece, horrible singing from me, sorry about that, but it gets the idea across to you. Hope you have fun with that. If you have any questions about it, do get in touch, and you can download this tablature from my website, and the address is on your screen now. If you like this video, please let me know, and you might consider subscribing to my channel, and if you hit that bell icon, you're going to get a notification every time I upload something to YouTube, which is most days. Thank you very much for watching, and you'll see me in the next video.